150 damage with poison and paralysis. That sounds like a pretty good card, and it's what you get with Beedrill from the new Pokemon 151 set. It has the attack Nadir Needle for 2 colorless energy, which deals 30 damage, plus, if you have no cards in your hand, 120 damage, and your opponent's active Pokemon is paralyzed and poisoned. That is a really, really powerful effect. It is just that little bit difficult, though, to remove all the cards from our hand. Plus, Beedrill's a stage 2, so we're going to need a little bit of work to get him in play. Let's explore how we're going to do that. Mainly, we're going to focus in on the idea of playing with Radiant Venusaur. We want to get our hand down to 0 so that we can attack, but 150 damage is not likely to take any prizes in our first instance, so Sunny Bloom from Radiant Venusaur will allow us to refresh our hand, draw up to 4 cards at the end of our turn. We can choose not to if we want, but most of the time we'll be selecting yes on this ability, and hopefully we can draw into a card like Peony, which will allow us to discard our entire hand, search for any 2 cards that we like, any 2 trainer cards that we like, cards like Super Rod to shuffle in all of our Beedrill line. Maybe we could search for a card like Switch, maybe we could search for a card like Rescue Carrier in order to get Weedles and Kakunas back, but most of the time we're going to want to get cards that we can instantly discard like Level Ball, so that we can empty out our hand. Once that hand's empty, we can then start attacking with our Beedrill, which means we're going to be in a really, really good spot. But sometimes you need to set another Beedrill up and you just don't have the cards, and Peony will not let you search a Beedrill. So what we might need to do is we might need to set up a Pidgeot EX. Quick search will allow us to search out a Beedrill, and then Peony could help us search out a rare candy ready to evolve and attack if we need it. To be brutally honest, this deck is a lot of fun. I'm not sure that it's incredible per se. I'm 100% sure it's not incredible. Beedrill is fun though, and that's all I can really suggest for it. Let's take it out, see if we can get a game with it, see if we can win with Nadir Needle, and show off why Beedrill is so cool. It's game time. Let's see if we can't get Beedrill to work here, and we are on the casual ladder up against some sort of fire deck of some description, a couple of Growler, Thunder, Reshiram. I'm not entirely sure what we're going up against here, but that's okay. We'll find out. Can't be too tough, I'm sure. We've got a pretty decent hand. We've got a Beedrill, a rare candy. We've got Arven, and we're going second, so that's good. We'll be able to find a Battle Pass. And a Level Ball as well means that we're looking pretty good. Depending on what is in our deck, we should be looking pretty solid. Meanwhile, on our opponent's side of the field, they've got a pretty decent little start here as well. They've got an attachment to the Reshiram, and then also a Charmander. So a potential Charizard to accelerate energy and get these fire attackers going. This is going to be very interesting to see whether we can get Beedrill across the line here. Let's start us off with this Level Ball, I think. We'll jump in. We might grab the Mew for a Mysterious Tail. Seems pretty reasonable. Let's check a little bit here and see what we can... Okay, we've got all of the Pokemon we need, so let's go for that Arven now. We can Arven for a Battle VIP Pass, which I like, and then also a Stone, a Forest Seal Stone. Seems like a pretty good card to be grabbing here. We'll Battle Pass grab ourselves, I think, a Pidgey and a Weedle, potentially. Although, to be fair, we've got the Forest Seal Stone, so it might be worth just going for the Pidgeot V right now, considering it's probably the best way to search it out. And then, worst case scenario, like, we can switch into the Mew. If we do get the Battle VIP Pass off the Mew, then that's great. If we don't, we can Steel Stone for it. And go from there. So, I think this is a pretty decent play here. We'll see whether we can get the Battle VIP Pass. We Mysterious Tail. We do find it, which is fantastic. So we can use that VIP, grab ourselves another Weedle, and I think the Radiant Venusaur, that seems like a reasonable thing to do, considering our current predicament. And yeah, we're in a pretty good spot now. We can attach to the Weedle with the double turbo. We can attach the punching gloves as well. And then the Forest Sealstone can go on the Pidgeot. And since we don't need much more than that, we can actually just pass this turn and see what we grab. And this hand's looking pretty good too. We've got a rare candy, we've got a Kakuna, we've got a Beedrill. If we find ourselves a Pidgeot EX, this would be a very, very good hand. I would also like a switch so that we can get out of the active. We'll see whether or not that happens. Our opponent plays a Research and gets rid of 2 rare candy, which is quite a lot to get rid of. Not necessarily an ideal situation for them, especially since they're going to need a rare candy to evolve their Charmander into Charizard. And you'd think if that's the way that they're going to attack next turn or this turn, they're going to need to do that. They do have the rare candy though, so they are going to be able to attack if they want to. They'll be able to use, I think it's White Blaze on that Reshiram V, get access to that attack with these extra energies and take a knockout, and that would be great because it would mean that we don't need to find the switch and we can simply Beedrill into the active and get started with paralyzing and locking down our opponent. I will say that, oh, they've got them. Oh, they're not attaching to the Reshiram? What? Okay. This is a very weird situation. I was fully expecting them to White Blaze here, just knock out the Mew, but they're going for the Sparkling Wing, which I think will search their deck for an energy and attach it to the active, so fair enough. It just means we need the switch card now to get out of the active. We've got an Ultra Ball here. We could Ultra Ball for the Pidgeot, but I don't think we will. I think we're just going to go with the Kakuna. We can Star Alchemy on our Pidgeot V here and go and grab the Pidgeot EX. Or rare candy that Pidgey into Pidgeot. And then, hopefully, off of this Mew, we hit Switch or Rare Candy. If we hit one of those two cards, then we'll be looking pretty good. But we don't get either of them. Okay, so we'll grab the Ultra Ball then. And I think now we can't. I think now we just flat out can't attack. Because we need to quick search for a rare candy and a switch. So we can't attack at all here. I think we just quick search. Potentially just grab a Kakuna. And then next turn at least we have the double Beedrill. We can attach, or we can evolve from hand and then Ultra Ball into that as well. We will Vanishing Wings though. We'll get rid of that 2-prize liability off of our bench. And then Nest Ball for that last Weedle on the bench. Make that nice little waterfall of attackers there. And then we can end our turn. Not ideal, but at least we do get to Sunny Bloom again. That's pretty good. Yeah, would have liked to have attacked there. Didn't work out that way. But this turn they will attack us. Or at least you'd assume they would. Oh no! Okay, well that's frustrating. So we had a pretty good hand, so now we have to find out, will we have a good hand this time? Double Turbo plus Peony means pretty much guaranteed attack for 150 this turn. We can always use Quick Search to find the Beedrill. Do we put the PokéStop in play? I'm not sure. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. What is our opponent doing here? They are taking a very, very long time to get this turn completed. They're going to be using their White Blaze from Reshiram V. They'll take the knockout, and then we can start attacking. So that's all I can really ask for here. There is that knockout. So 200 damage. Pretty gosh darn good. They flip tails. I'm not entirely sure exactly what the coin flips for, but it doesn't matter. I'm not going to bother reading it because they're not going to attack with it again. We're going to paralyze them with with Beedrill, sorry, and then we will go from there. So let's see. We can attach the DTE to the Kakuna on the bench, and then I think we pretty much just Peony. I don't think we're going to Rescue Carrier. We can play down the Manaphy just in case they have something like I don't know, like a Delphox V. Could be bad, and then we will Peony our hand away. And we will grab a couple of cards that we can just thin, right? So, Level Ball we can get rid of. Vitality Band, I think we can just attach to our benched Kakuna. Seems reasonable. Just double check. We do have a Kakuna to grab with that Level Ball as well. So, we can Level Ball for a Kakuna here and then attach Vitality Band to our benched Kakuna. And then use Quick Search to find the Beedrill to attack into this Reshiram. So I think we're looking pretty solid. We're going to get ourselves a nice attack here with Nadir Needle. It's going to do 130 damage, I think, because of the double turbo, and then paralyze and poison our opponent. So a pretty good turn. We get the paralysis, and presuming that our opponent doesn't play switch cards, which I doubt they do. If you're playing Charizard, you probably don't have switches per se. But if they don't play a switch card this turn, then we will knock out the Reshiram and then be in front, ready to take some more knockouts. We'll see whether or not the opponent is able to find that switch, though. Gonna go for a Jacques. Jacques will find a couple of evolution pieces, a Charmeleon and a Charizard. Neither of those are usable at the moment, which is good for us, because they've got a bench full of cards at the moment. It looks like they're just going to pass, so looking pretty good here. We've got a fantastic hand, really. We've got a Beedrill, which we can throw down. We have Level Ball. We have Ultra Ball, which we can play. Level Ball, we don't have any cards to grab, so we won't worry about that. We do have the double Turbo Energy, which we could potentially get. A Reversal as well. We could Ultra Ball away. We could Lost Vacuum if we want to, but I don't think it makes any difference here. So we'll just Ultra Ball. We will not get the Pidgeot V. And then we'll quick search and grab ourselves that last double Turbo Energy so that all of our Beedrill are ready to attack. To be brutally honest, I mean, we'd need an extra Beedrill to be able to get that Kakuna attacking anyway, but we're in a good spot now. Nadia Needle will take the knockout, we'll take 2 prizes, and be in front in this game. And we are looking really, really good here. Like, we've got the lock set up. We can lose 1 prize to 2 every turn, that's fine. And if our opponent here attacks into this Beedrill, especially with the Charizard, we might be able to sneak a 1-hit knockout on this. Because if they knock it out with the Punchy Glove, we'll put some damage counters on that Charizard, and the Beedrill on the bench with the Vitality Band will actually be able to knock it out. Because I think it's perfect numbers. If the Punchy Gloves go off, it goes down to 290, and then with the Poison, we'll do 280 plus the extra 10. So hopefully the Charizard knocks out the Punchy Gloves Beedrill here. If not, that's okay. I think we should be fine here. I think we'll also be able to play the Super Rod next turn as well, which will be really, really good. They're just going in with the knockout, so they do take that 40 damage from the Punchy Gloves. So we'll be able to KO this Charizard here, which is really, really exciting. Put ourselves 2 prizes away from winning this game. Our turn will probably start off with a Super Rod. We could Rescue Carrier, actually, and grab back the Weedle. I don't think we need to grab the Kakuna, because we are going to discard our hand, but we can grab the Weedle. Then we'll be able to use our Super Rod, throw in a Beedrill line there, the Weedle, Kakuna, and Beedrill all going back into the deck. And now I think we're pretty good. We can just like attach this stone to the Pidgeot just in case we need to like vacuum or something. And then we can Peony. I don't really care what cards we get here. We could grab like, well, we can't grab a supporter. We can just pass, really. We don't need to do anything else. And then we can quick search, because we can just grab the Beedrill out that we just put back in the deck. That seems pretty good. Make sure that we've got another attacker lined up. And off we go. So we'll be able to Nadia Needle for 280 damage here, because of the weakness into the Charizard. And then the maths will tick perfectly. The extra 10 damage from Poison will give us a KO on that Charizard. So very, very nice. Very efficient. Let's see whether we can get ourselves the last 2 KOs required. A rare candy into the Beedrill off of the prizes means that the Weedle that we have on the bench will be available and online as an attacker. To be honest, I think we're further behind when it comes to energy than attackers at the moment. So we've got to hope that our opponent has a bit of a struggle here and can't quite get what they need. To be brutally honest, the worst thing that our opponent could do to us here is gust up the Radiant Venusaur and lock it in the active. If they have all of the, if we have all the switches in our deck gone, which we may well have, having just discarded the last one, then Radiant Venusaur to the active could potentially be a play. I'm going to assume that they think we have more switches though, so I'm not going to stress too hard about it. We're just going to continue attacking with Beedrills, and hopefully we can get a knockout on this Arcanine within the next couple of turns. It's the strength of that 280 hit point total of EXs and V-Stars. The Nadia Needle doing 150 down to 130 plus Poison means that you can knock them out quite easily, realistically. So that's pretty good. The Arcanine takes the KO, and now we're into our last little Beedrill section. If we can get a big attack off, that would be fantastic. If we can't, that is if they boss around us, we might be in a bit of strife. We'll wait and see. I'm just going to wait for our opponent to select one prize card. I'm going to play the game and sit here and wait for them to take the prize. Come on, friend. What's your name? Tahira? Tahira, take the prize. Let's go. All right, Beedrill time. Beedrill time. Arven, we don't want you. We do want a rare candy into our extra Beedrill. Then we can attach a reversal energy potentially. Let's just double check in the deck with quick search what we have available to us. We have 2 more reversal energies, so I like that. I think, though, we really just go for, like... Well, to be honest, we don't even need to bench this Weedle. I'm just being greedy here, putting that down. But yeah, we can attach the energy to the Beedrill and then use Peony. We don't even need anything here. It might just be about thinning to make sure that we can get rid of cards that we don't necessarily want to draw. Heavy Ball, I don't want to draw that. Switch and double turbo prized. So, ways to retreat that Radiant Venusaur are dwindling down. But we do 140 damage to this Arcanine, so that is pretty good. Now we have the boss as well, so any retreat from our opponent, and we will be able to get the knockout if we don't get stalled ourselves. I do like this, though. As long as the Radiant Venusaur doesn't get bossed, we should be fine. Nadia Needle will take a knockout next turn on this Arcanine EX, because no matter what they attack with, even if they go into a new attacker, we can go into our benched Beedrill and attack them. But on the plus side, they're actually going to find it really hard to attack here themselves. They're poisoned, they're paralyzed. There's not a huge amount that this Arcanine can really do unless they have a switch, which, I mean, they've got 10 cards in hand. They're holding a third of their available resources. If they've got the card, they've got the card. But ultimately, if we can manage to get a favourable board state here, then we will be able to simply win the game next turn, which I am a massive fan of. Although, as every second goes by, I hope that our opponent doesn't identify the fact that they can just boss the Venusaur. Because if they figured that out, then we'd be in deep, deep trouble. Because now that I'm thinking about it, I think we only have 2 reversal energies left, so... Maybe I shouldn't have attached to that Beedrill. Maybe I was being too greedy. Maybe I should have attached to the Radiant Venusaur. To be fair, though, what are the chances of Double Turbo and Switch being our last 2 prize cards? What are the chances? Oh no, this is bad. Boss's orders. Oh my goodness. We survive. We survive. Our opponent doesn't spot the Venusaur. Either that or they misclick and click the Pidgeot instead. So now, all we'll need to do is retreat. Even if they do find a switch, then we can attack with Beedrill next turn, and then boss's orders. Looks like they might actually have the switch here. They go into the Charizard and then attack. No, they've just a pass. Maybe they forgot they were paralyzed. Well, we managed it. I don't know how we did it, but we managed it. Here comes the Beedrill. Now we just need to make sure we remember to remove all the cards from our hand. We'll Lost Zone the boss. We'll Ultra Ball the rest of the hand away. And now that we have 0 cards in hand, Nadia Needle will do 130 damage, plus the poison. We don't even need it, because we've already got 150 on the active Arcanine. Beedrill taking the game. What a deck. Like, I had a lot of fun with this. It's obviously got some significant weaknesses, but I mean, if you're looking for something fun to play on the casual ladder, then this might be a very, very strong choice. If you're looking for something neat from 151. Thanks everyone, by the way, for watching. Appreciate it. Like, subscribe, comment, etc. And otherwise, I'll see you all next time for more from the Sableyes. Bye everyone. What a game.